Hey everyone, and welcome to the next edition of the Snapchat. I'm joined today, as I always am, with Cozy Snap. Cozy, this past week was PAX East, one of my absolute favorite events of the year. I was in Boston, had a chance to meet a number of you wonderful people, and I appreciate it so much. But Cozy, I was given a very special gift that I want to bring up because it's not only a gift for me, but it was a gift for you.
Oh.
And it was from Turn 6 Zabu, longtime supporter of the content. And they came to me at PAX and they said, Alex, I want to give you something that's distinctly Massachusetts. It's distinctly something that I know Cozy's going to love. So he brought me this.
Oh, what a man. Turn 6 Zabu. Man, you've never looked more sexy in your entire life. For those that are listening, Alex has put on not only just a camouflage hat, but one bearing the greatest logo in the world, the New England Patriots. You look great.
Yeah, I know. As a Bills fan wearing the New England Patriots hat, but I'm paying homage to your interest in sports. I know all about your time at, Texas QB. Was it Texas A&M? I'm trying to remember which one.
No, I definitely didn't play at Texas A&M. That would make me a 5-star athlete in college.
You played high school ball.
I played high school. I did not play college.
But you love Texas A&M.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. There's multiple Texas universities? How many universities do you need in Texas?
Texas is bigger. Go look at the true size of Texas. It swallows up Europe 2 times over.
So as I said that statement, I realized how dumb it sounded. I know Texas is massive.
Massive.
Not only from a population standpoint, from an actual geographic standpoint, it's like a huge piece of land. Yeah,
huge. Hey,
yeah. So anyways,
but you look like a blend of Texas and Massachusetts with that hat. You got a little camo, a little Southern, and then you got the Patriots. I love it.
Yeah, one of these days we'll have to go to a Patriots game, just somewhere. I don't know. Maybe I got to fly somewhere to make it happen. But it would be cool to see an NFL game with you because I've only ever been to 2.
Okay.
Both of them were Bills games. One of them, it was like -19 out. It was so bad. Right. It was awful. And the worst part about it is we took a party bus into Buffalo. And what they do is they bus you there and then they just drop you off in a parking lot.
Oh yeah.
And you're just and it's 11 a.m., right? And you're waiting for a 3 o'clock or 4:30 game and you're just freezing outside and there's nowhere you can go to hide. You're literally in a parking lot and the only way you can stay warm is by consuming copious amounts of alcohol. That's the only way. And the Buffalo Bills fans, to stay warm, they get on their cars and they power bomb each other through tables and jump through tables and yeah.
I'm surprised you remember anything going to a Bills game. Yeah, that's shocking. From what I've seen, I've only heard of the legends and the stories, but they remain that because no one remembers what happened.
I saw this one video. So they call themselves the Bills Mafia, and they put themselves through the table. A guy brought his newborn baby. It was 2 weeks old, and he held him up, and everyone was going crazy. And they built a little baby table, and they put the baby through the table. It was just, there's something. I will tell you this, okay? I will tell you this. I want to go to an NFL game with you 100%. But what I will say is when I go to Toronto Maple Leafs games, right? It's just a whole bunch of suits. The only time you get to actually get with the fans is in the nosebleed section. You got to get the worst seats you get at a Leafs game, the better the seats are, because you're with actual fans.
Yeah.
Everyone else is a bunch of suits. After first period, they're gone doing business talks. The arena looks empty. When you're at a Bills game, it's like John the mechanic's there and he's going crazy and his wife's there. She's half in the bag. And then the whole town, it's like everyone's there.
That's how
the whole city's there going crazy. And I love it. Everyone's a fan. Every single seat is a jerseyed fan going crazy. I love it. I can't tell you how much I love it.
Yeah, I've been to a fair amount of Super Bowls. It's the same thing. Super Bowls are so corporate that you barely get. And then it's always the underdog team that everybody loves because no one wants the Patriots to win for the 5th time, right? Even though we did. But yeah, no, it's the same vibes of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but long story short, though, I gotta say that PAX was wonderful. Absolutely love Penny Arcade Expo, and hoping to go to the Seattle one as well. Make it back to Boston next year, and who knows? I have some fun ideas for perhaps what future iterations of my adventures at PAX could look like, and hope to see you and everyone else there. And Cozy, I missed you not being able to play Commander with you, buddy. That the year that we got to go to PAX together and actually spend time, that was one of my absolute favorite trips, favorite weekend of my entire life, and getting to see you for the first time, that was special. I hope that we can recreate that at some point.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Hopefully I'll make it out to PAX East next year. We'll have to see. It's funny enough, like I like East better than West. Is that East is bigger? Yeah.
So they're different. So PAX East is cool because like it's like one massive stadium essentially. It's the convention center in Boston, and it's cool because everything's in one spot, and you could just like live there for the entire day. PAX Prime is cool as well because it's two separate convention centers, but they're close to each other. So they're like a 5-6 minute walk from one another. And in the middle of that walk, they usually shut down a street where it's just like food trucks and stuff. So like you're walking through, it's like PAX, except it's two physical locations. What I will tell you though is that the new convention center in Seattle, when I tell you is one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen in my life, like I can't explain to you how beautiful it is. Like it's like an escalator going up a skyscraper with like an all glass. So you get to see the entire building. They even have at the very top, there's like ledges you can sit on and overlook the entire city at night, which I did. It was like 12:30 at night. I just watched like a panel, and I was just sitting there and just like looking at the cars driving by. It was just beautiful, dude. They're both great. They're both great for different reasons. And if I just got to drag you out to both, I guess.
I know. I'll have to go and check it out. Speaking of checking out, did you check out Prodigy this week?
I did, man. I did. So Prodigy came out this week. And so Cozy, you and I were like pretty lukewarm on this card. We both came in at 2 stars. You actually had 2.5. And then you said, you know what, Alex, we're bringing it down. We're going to bring it out too. And Cozy, I got to tell you, you made the right choice. What I will say is that in terms of statistics, post-infinite only, we're looking at a 48% win rate at a 14% popularity. Negative cube rate, unfortunately, for Prodigy. This card did not land well. It has not landed well. When I look across all the decks are very lackluster. There's an ongoing shell that's running a 55% win rate, but that is literally a worse version of Spectrum Thanos than just like not running Prodigy. Like adding Prodigy to that deck actively makes it worse. That's pretty much the case with every single deck I'm looking at. There's a Scream version running a 53% win rate. It makes Scream worse. It has not found its own archetype.
Cerebral
and as a result, dude, I was just going to say, ironically, in my Decks of the Week video, I'm like, this is what I've been playing. I had Esme, I had Prodigy, I was playing C4, and actually I legit had some fun. Now Cerebro has its frustrations, obviously, because you're like, oh look, it's Monster Island, sick, thank you game, you know what I mean? Or locations that give +1 power or whatever they're called. It's kind of frustrating, but I actually liked C4 the best. I'm so surprised you brought that up.
Yeah, I think that was his best home for sure. Like that's, or at least it feels like, because again, remember, like he was doing 2 things at once. So you get in the C4 power, and then also you could get, you know, a bunch of good things going off with that. There's plenty of 4s that you want to go with it. So I think naturally, again, we talk about all the time, but any card that could do, you know, offense and defense kind of thing, you know, is going to work out best. Ultimately, you know, I've said this. I think that he does have, because I know I may have gave him a 2, but I said at 3.5, I liked the idea of him just being able to get an effect at times. And I think it came off easier to get him to go on cards that I designated for. I'll give it that for sure. But it still came a little bit clunky overall in design. I think there's actually people that really liked the card. I think that was a preference thing more than anything, and willing to go through some of the cons that did come with him. I think the thing I will say is when you do pull for cards and snap packs now in the next couple weeks, he's less of a bad hit. You know, at least you could do some stuff with him.
Yeah, he's not great. What I will say, though, is like in my experience on C4 specifically, I tried to prioritize hitting Cerebro with it. Now that Cerebro's a 2 cost, get it on curve, you can set up the board a little better to hit Cerebro more effectively. But I legit won multiple games playing Claw on 5 into a location and then doing Cerebro Prodigy and then recopying the Claw and projecting the power. So now you're taking the Cerebro buff, applying it to the Prodigy, and you're projecting the Claw power. Honestly, I did that multiple times. I was like, that's so good,
it's
right? And like, so there's moments like that where you're like, okay, all right, that's pretty solid, right? And in those decks, it basically made Mystique not necessary. And it's great because you're copying the Cerebro, but you have the opportunity to do things with like Claw and stuff. So Prodigy, I feel like it suffered from what the original version of Captain Carter did. A lot of emphasis on positioning and not enough of a payoff for that. Ironically, you know, we talked about Miss Marvel on your side there, and like think about what modern Miss Marvel is and how much you have to like jump through hoops to get an effect to work. Prodigy doesn't feel quite like that, but at the same time, you're committing a lot of energy, resources, and just like macro consideration to get Prodigy to do the things you want it to do. It just doesn't always feel worth it. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's holding the card back, and the win rate certainly shows that.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know what it has written all over it as we say this about cards that we predict that's going to happen. Flavor of the week kind of thing. Yeah, give it like 3 weeks, people aren't going to be playing them. That's just the truth.
3 weeks after these weekend missions are done, like I'm not playing this card. I'm only playing C4 because I get to do the weekend mission with Esme and Prodigy at the same time. I will say though, I know this is irrelevant, not necessarily irrelevant, but now that I'm playing the cards together, like Surge is so far ahead of what Prodigy is. Like it's not even close, and I'm starting to really I'm enjoying Esme. Like I think that Esme, like as I've been playing more, I'm like, you know what, this card, first impressions, it didn't feel as good, but like, damn, I think I'm coming around on really like it. It makes Prodigy look like garbage. Like Esme is way better than Prodigy, I'll tell you that right now. But I've kind of been impressed.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we're actually going to nail it this month in our diet. I mean, we said Surge was 5. I think you gave her 4.5, right? Or maybe you gave her 5. You ranked her 2. But her and Esme are going to be 1 and 2. No question. And then everything else. What did we give 3? Did we say Prodigy?
You want me to go? I have to like scroll all the way
I
down
think Zorn.
here.
I think I gave Zorn then Prodigy. I feel like.
So I have the rankings here. So Alex's rankings, we're jumping ahead a little bit, but Alex's rankings were Esme, Surge, Prodigy, Zorn, and Elixir. Cozy went Surge, Esme, Zorn, Prodigy, Elixir. I like Cozy's better, but still, I do think that Esme is looking good. I think your ranking is looking stronger right now, but I think Esme is looking good. And you know what else is looking good, Cozy? The cards that you must own in Marvel Snap. Because this is a discussion that we have from time to time where realistically, guys, you got the snap packs now, you got Series 4 snap packs, you got Series 3 snap packs, you got all these types of snap packs. What are the cards that you should be targeting? What are the ones you absolutely have to have in your collection? We're not just talking about the new ones. Ironically, in my list, there's a lot of Series 5 bangers. I think the Series 5 cards, they've been propping up the good cards a little bit, but it doesn't mean there's not good cards in Series 4 and 3 as well. Cozy, I'll let you start us off here. What's a must-have card in your opinion?
Naturally, man, I'm going to say Thanos, but I want to say that with a bit of precaution here because we've gone a pretty long time now without OTAs, without changes, and there's been one deck to rule them all. It's been a lot of Thanos. We've seen a lot of Thanos, and we're going to continue to. And so, naturally, since this game has come out, we've had the waves of Thanos. I'm telling you right now, in 8 months, he's going to be good again. But I think it's kind of like a stock. You're hitting him on the kind of the downturn of where his meta relevance is. So the good news is it's a card everyone should own because it's going to come back. It's a stock that always builds itself back up, and you can get a little time with it now. But yeah, this card is proven no matter what to survive and thrive in Snap. No matter what meta we're at, new cards come along, they continue to add to him. He's so unique in nature. I think Thanos is still one of the best.
I love this call out because it really does speak to what the spirit of this conversation is. It's not necessarily about like what's meta now. Things are meta, things shift, but Thanos is eternal. Thanos will always come back. It is the most cyclical card in Marvel Snap. Yeah. If you think Thanos is gone, it comes back. We have had Thanos' funeral so many times where we're like, they did it. They killed Thanos. We're never playing it again. And then sure enough, it's like one of the best cards in the game again. And like, it's often by association, right? Like things like, obviously Mockingbird was a huge infusion of power for Thanos. And then you had Strange Supreme. But not just that, like actually, even Strange Supreme, as good as it is, you're seeing like ongoing Spectrum versions of Thanos doing so good with the reworks to some of the stones and stuff, right? And so obviously Thanos starting in the hand. It's one of the original big bads, right? This is a card that if you don't have in your collection and you get the opportunity to get it, you absolutely should, because it is like an eternal presence in the metagame, an eternal presence in Marvel Snap. It's just a fantastic card. And I will say that one of the ones I want to speak about as well is High Evolutionary, which has a similar feel to this. And High Evolutionary is currently very meta, especially in conjunction with Man-Thing and Abomination. Man-Thing doing very well against Thanos decks, and Abomination often being free because of the amount of punishment you're able to do to the amount of Thanos we're seeing out there. But High Evo, it's a big bad. And what the beautiful thing about High Evo is if you're relatively low collection level, you have access to all these cards that feel like they do nothing. You're like, why would I play Misty Knight? Why? The Cyclops sucks so bad. Why would I ever play Cyclops? But when you get High Evo, suddenly those cards start to come alive. Like it really is a big infusion of power for low collection level players. Now, classic High Evo, in the case of like running the classic Hulk and Shocker and all that stuff, it's not quite where it needs to be. And I think that like Wasp and specifically Shocker is in probably a position where it could get OTA buffed. Like I think High Evo's traditional package could use a buff, because right now High Evo is being played almost exclusively on the toxic side, where you just want a free abomination basically, and that's fine because you're seeing it in like the Ajax style decks. But again, this is a big bad card. It's likely going to stay at Series 5 for the foreseeable future, but most importantly, it unlocks a whole new way to play Snap, and it's really advantageous for low collection level players.
And Invisible Woman's coming out, the end of turn card that's only going to boost it, right? So you know it's going to have a good future ahead of it too. So that's definitely a reason that I would highlight it. Looking at, we're going from 6 to 4. I'm going to go down to 3. Alex, this has been a card you've been high up on forever. We've brought them up forever. I think we were like original champions for this card, if you will, and talked about him before it was popular to do so. Red Guardian. I think Red Guardian, I've seen a lot of takes on him. Some people don't like him and think he's way too, he's all over, way too much in the meta. I would think, this is the perfect tech card, and I still think it is. And I don't think they adjust him. I think what he does well is been like he's always going to scale good, because you're always going to have cards with low power to hit, and I think you said it on when we were looking back, you're like, cards with low power have great abilities. Well, that's always going to be a thing, right? So you've got that going for it. It feels great, and compared to something like Shang-Chi, I'm more in favor for Red Guardian style of play.
I do like Red Guardian a lot. It's running a 54% win rate now at 23% of the meta. This is probably amongst the highest Red Guardian's been. Red Guardian started to really surge when the Bullseye shells started coming out, because then you had like the Morbius is sitting there, you had the Bullseye sitting there, and people were often playing them on individual lanes. I think Red Guardian is a very effective card, and the reason why you hate it is because it's effective, but it's also a fair card because there's a chance that like you can't target the card you want because of its condition. And so I really do like Red Guardian. And perhaps the reason why we're seeing such an influx of Red Guardian, it's not Red Guardian's fault. He's the release valve for what's popular, right? And so there's going to be times like right now, Mobius is getting really popular because Esme is discounting cards, and you're seeing lots of stuff like that. And so, Mobius is making a comeback. It'll disappear, and there's a chance that Red Guardian disappears now. But Red Guardian feels like a better catch-all.
Catch-alls, yeah.
And for that reason, yeah, it's a must-have in your collection, because if you don't have Mobius, or if you don't have other tech pieces that might be the flavor of the week, this guy seems like you could put him in almost any deck.
Yeah, just to spin 2 in a row here, because I think the term catch-all is a really good term when it comes to cards that you should own, because you can put them in so many different decks. And one that has been forgotten for I don't know why. We've you're going to continue to say that you miss the effect of old, and I totally get that. But Copycat is that exact same thing, right? The catch-all card that has great stats, great value, and can work across the board. This is one of those snap pack pulls that you feel incredible about, because you know it's going to be able to fit in what you want to play.
You know what's funny is I was kind of, you're right, I do miss the original Copycat, but I do understand why they had to make the change. And honestly, being in a position where you know what's at the bottom of their deck is still helpful. And it's, if it stays at the bottom of their deck, they don't usually draw it. Like, what's the matter if it's muted, right? But what I will say is, like, it wasn't until I got like a really nice split. I got like a gold split on Copycat. I was excited about it. I just started throwing it in decks. I liked looking at the card, and I had the Pendart Studio variant as well. Like, I don't know if this happens to you, but sometimes you just have a card that's so beautiful. You're like, I just want to play it. I want to look at this card. So I was doing that with Copycat. Luna Snow, I got a God split on too. I got to show you that variant later.
Please.
But I was playing Copycat, and I was like, damn, this card is just so good. It's just so good. It's often a snap condition where like you steal their Iron Man, who's really popular right now, and you snap, and they're like, but why? There's nothing on the board that shows I have your Iron Man as a Copycat. Like, Copycat is this very low key, oh, I know your Shang-Chi's at the bottom of the deck, and I have Strange Supreme sitting here with a smile on his face. You know what I mean? And I know you're not playing Shadow King, because who the hell is doing Shadow King just gets no respect in Marvel Snap for some reason. So Copycat is this very sneaky high cube rate card that, I mean, it's got a 53% win rate for a reason. Like, it's crushing it. And I like that call it a lot. Similarly, I'll say, if you want to go down, so Copycat, we're talking about a lot of Series 5 cards. Let's talk about a Series 3 card, Cozy.
Okay.
Get some of the, the people with Series 3 a little more excited. Juggernaut is currently absolutely smashing it in the meta. Juggernaut is an 11% meta card right now, running a 52 to 53% win rate. Juggernaut is a low-key cube stealer on turn 6. It is so unbelievably good. And you often look at it in shells and figure, I could probably cut Juggernaut. What's he doing? He's winning games is what Juggernaut's doing. He's a must-own card at a Series 3. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is like a card that if we would have ever, in Copycat too, but like as like competitive Snap goes, it's one of those like, what just happened? Was not expecting that. And catch-all card that can work across the board. Juggernaut's so funny how like underutilized this card was for so long, and then it became more popular. Now, obviously, it is what it is today. But yeah, I like the call out, man. I like the Series 3, the Pool 3, as we talked about before. Rip pools. Good call, man. Any other Pool 3s you have?
Pool 3, I mean, I think that Silver Surfer, obviously,
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Silver Surfer is huge. I tend to assume that most people are nearing or at Pool 3 complete. We did it, Pool 3, look at that. At Series 3 complete. But yeah, Silver Surfer is amazing, and if you don't have Silver Surfer and you get the opportunity to get it, you absolutely should. And the reason for this is because you can make a Silver Surfer deck so rapidly with so many different variations, with so many other inexpensive cards. Like, you could literally make a Pool 3 Silver Surfer deck, and it's good. Like, it's not great, but it's going to be good. There's so many ways you can cook Silver Surfer, so many options to 3 cost. And if you're new to it, usually what I do is you can start as simple as like Nova Killmonger, which is like, this is again trying to be low collection. We're not running Nova Killmonger anymore, really, but in this current meta against Thanos, you can do a Nova Killmonger, run Sarah, who's another must-have at Series 3. Sarah's another absolute beauty, right? And then you do 2/2 drops. Whoever you want, 2/2 drops, and then you fill the 3s out with whatever you think you need. You're seeing a lot of ongoing in your meta, pick a rogue, right? You actually pulled Gladiator out of a snap pack, throw him in there, right? Like, it's so great how you can make it. But usually the formula is a Nova Killmonger, Sarah, Silver Surfer, Forge Brood, and then fill it from there. Usually another 2 drop, and just feel like if you have a Jeff or whatever you want to fill with, you can do that. But yeah, Silver Surfer builds very, very good. And if we're talking about cards that we really want to have in our collections that like are relatively inexpensive to build around, I think something needs to be said about Scream at Series 5. It utilizes a lot of relatively inexpensive cards. Yes, some flavors of it do have like some other cards, but like you can run Arrow, you can run Magneto's in it. Polaris is a Series 3 card. Spider-Man, like there's tons of options here, Kingpin variations of it, and it's one of the best cards in the game. It's running a 54% win rate, despite the fact it's only running a 6% meta share because it's been nerfed so frequently over the last little bit. Yeah, but Scream's definitely a keeper.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is just such a good, like we talk about those anchor cards. This is like one of those anchor cards that quite literally make the entire archetype, and you're getting kind of a high evo effect to it, right? You're getting this card that's just going to make so many cards around it, then playable. You have a muted collection. It's like if this was a physical card game, this would be such a sick card to pull because you'd be able to like go and dust off some stuff that you haven't been able to play with. Yeah, good pick.
There's a couple others I just want to highlight quickly here, and I think that like Ajax, for instance, is one that I think a lot of people feel like they don't need to add it to their collection, and they often kind of punt on getting Ajax. Like, people don't want to spend tokens on it. They don't want to like commit to getting Ajax. But this is a card that runs a 54% win rate, and it's very often at near the top of the meta. And it's actually a good play against Thanos because of your ability to blanket impact all the stones in the board state with something like a Hazmat or a Man-Thing or even a Diamondback from that perspective. So Ajax is one too. And if you want to talk about Series 4, kind of the new sexy flavor, but this one here is tricky because of the impact on an OTA. But Gorgon, as of right now, has proven to be a pretty good tech piece too, running a 53% win rate because of the prevalence of hand generation and specifically something like a Thanos. So,
like it.
Yeah, and what else I like, Cozy? I love myself the Snapchat mailbag. We got a number of questions here, Cozy, and I'm actually excited for this because, believe it or not, we have a few like Marvel Snap question. Usually we're like right off the rails right away. Like first question is asking Cozy about like whose favorite salon is or like what product he uses in his hair and stuff like that. Actually, you haven't shaved in a bit. You're a little more disheveled than usual. I think it's the second time I've said the word disheveled on this podcast. Actually,
I shaved like yesterday. Actually,
you shaved yesterday. That's
dude.
fake
Look at this
news.
clean
There's
line.
no way you shaved that.
Look at this clean line right here.
Oh, when you said okay, so you shaved, but you didn't completely you didn't get rid of all the hair.
Yeah, I did.
Like you just trimmed.
Yeah, I took this down to a 5.5 right here. It was at like at least a 9, man.
If that's your 5 o'clock shadow, that is insane.
No. 5.5 on my razor. 5 o'clock. No, dude, I actually thought about the other day, completely just going bald under here, but I haven't done that in like 5 years, man. The last time I did that was for a subathon I did, which speaks for itself because I don't stream. That I shaved everything but my mustache. I might bring that back. Old Ted Lasso.
I have a picture of me somewhere where I was shaving. I was really I had a huge beard, and I did multiple stages of beard. Like every day I shaved a little bit of it, and my wife hated it so much. She's like, and eventually I ended up with a huge mustache, right? And she's like, no. She's like,
I need whatever Alex was. What card we were talking about on my side that you looked fresh out of Survivor. Like you looked like you came off the island like just a couple days ago, bro. That's the Alex I want in my life more.
But you know what? I'm always here for you, Cozy. Anytime you want to come cuddle, come over to Canada. I'll give you a nice bear hug. But let's get into a question here from Commander Ding Dong 223. Some of these names make me laugh sometimes. I'm like, I don't know. I just need to come up with a very, very creative name instead of just using my full legal name. That's it.
It's too late.
That's a whole other conversation. Mailbag. We should have variants signed by the artists as the ultimate prize for artist-specific albums. Boom, Cozy. That's a great idea.
That's a great idea, dude. That's a 10 out of 10 idea. Instead of, the 20th emote you're not going to use or whatever variant that you already have good ones on. Dude, I like that. I wish they would do that. And they already collaborate with them to make those season videos, so that would be something easy to do as well.
The only signature card we have is that Nick Fury one, right?
Yes.
It would be really cool though if you finish an album for a creator or an artist, if you unlock their signature on all their cards. Wouldn't that be so cool?
That'd be so sick.
And you could actually toggle it in in the custom card, creator the signature, and it can be different colors. That would be such a nice touch.
That would definitely
and it'd
be
pay a
cool
lot of
tribute.
respect
a lot of
to
respect.
the artist too.
Big tribute.
Yeah. Next question comes from Tom Brennan, and it reads, my friend and I were discussing how useless and unengaging the alliance system is. With the loss of spotlight variants, do you think that they could find a way to incorporate weekly curated variants into the alliance rewards? It would bring back spotlight variants and make alliances more engaging.
Yeah, I think they could also do tokens. I think that not a ton, but enough to get people invested as a team to get card acquisition more for everybody. 5 things that will never happen, but it'd be cool if they did that.
I know that they originally when they were talking about alliances, they were like, you know what, alliances they're a work in progress. This is kind of like
this
the first
wave 1,
iteration
bro.
of it.
They were so on.
And then
that.
they haven't done anything with it, right? Unfortunately.
No, to be real, yeah, they deserve more harping on that because that's stereotypical. We're gonna do this, or they said we're on wave 1 of the PC build. Nothing happened to that. That was what they stuck with. So. Yeah, unfortunately, I think alliances took a dip, and they I don't know if they're going to come to the forefront anytime soon.
I'm hoping that with the release of snap packs, we have some development time going towards I don't know, a new board for the game or something.
Dude, China Snap got 2. China Snap got 2 new boards instantly before we can.
Why won't they just give them to us? I don't understand.
It's a different development team, and clearly there's just different. Yeah.
I don't know. We obviously don't have an answer for that. But we might have an answer for Fam, who says, I wanted to plug Cable as a great counter to Surge. Many times I played Cable on my turn and the opponent played Surge, and I got their reduced card and profited.
That is thinking outside the box. I like it. That's a good one.
I do like that one a lot. Cable's a card that I remember it got buffed to 2-3 and everyone was so pissed about it. and then it was being played a lot in Mill, and then it just kind of fell off. And it was actually being played a lot in Loki because it was hand generation. Remember, it was being played in Loki because you'd get a card and then you'd swap it out to with your Loki on turn 3. Oh, Loki on turn 3, baby!
Back in the day.
Oh man, this is great. Today's is a walk down memory lane. As Captain Crump has a statement, I don't care about more deck slots, but I do wish I could rearrange my decks. I wish mobile had the same deck layout that PC players have. I hate scrolling all the way to the end of the list to find my favorite decks. So Captain Crump hates your call out for more deck slots, but thinks you should rearrange them. And I have to say, the amount of people that said I don't care about deck slots was shocking. It was actually a very frequent comment on our side, which was mind-blowing to me. Like, I don't understand. If we have more deck slots, how is that a bad thing? But people were like, no, screw deck slots. I was like, what?
Dude, and it's such an easy thing to implement. But, that's shocking. I'm pretty shocked by that.
Yeah, it actually was legitimately surprising. Just like this question from Cybersuit. And this actually got a chuckle out of me. And Cozy, you'll appreciate this too as well. This is to me. Alex, you don't have to watch Inception. You haven't lived until you've watched Inception. Your life is but a frail shadow of what it could be after consuming the magnum opus of modern media. For the nearly limitless joy you bring me, you fail to allow yourself to experience the ultimate joy of watching Inception. Forgive him, Cozy, for he knows not what he does.
That is a great spokesperson. I almost watched it again last night, actually. But then I decided on Wolf of Wall Street instead. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I like Wolf of Wall Street a lot. Buddy, one of my favorite comments in while I'm streaming is when people are like, Alex, retreat. I'm like, I'm not leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving.
I'm not leaving. Yeah, exactly. I love it. And I love it because in that particular scene, his dad is just like, oh my. With that being said, that's got to be one of DiCaprio's like best performances. Like, miss me with this Titanic. I'm cold. I'm falling into the ocean crap. That was such a great scene.
You know what else is good? Shutter Island, but you won't watch it either, Alex, because you're too busy.
I'll watch Shutter Island.
No.
I'll watch Shutter Island. I'm working on Inception. My wife and I, we have a plan. Okay, we're going to watch some. Listen, we're recording this on Sunday. Tonight's Game 7 Leafs. Okay, so we're going to see what happens there. As a Leaf fan my entire life, I expect nothing. And so, like, that's just the way it works. I've been disappointed with them in the past, so we'll know today if they've disappointed me again. But what I will say is that once the Leafs are done, it's Inception time, baby. Okay. And you know what, Cozy? That movie better not suck, because if it does, I'm going to call you out on it. Yeah. Okay, Cozy, pick the one. Which one do I watch first, Shutter Island or Inception? Go.
Inception.
All right, Shutter Island it is, and we'll see you on that next one.